How do you get my hair all over you?
Hey everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Krista.
With the Big Family Homestead.
You're leaving that in, aren't you?
I know the editor, so yeah, because it's me. Okay, this video is going to be split into 3 parts. And that way you're not going to think, oh my gosh, they're moaning and complaining, because we're not moaning and complaining. No. And this is not based in fear, so the people that go, oh my gosh, you're just spreading fear. No, there's actual solutions.
Right.
And there's actual action that we need to take.
Well, and it's also, let's not keep our heads in the sand.
Yes.
Let's be paying attention.
Correct.
Not being fearful,
no.
Paying attention.
And being as proactive as you can.
Right.
Because I know there's always people that say, you guys are just talking about fear. No,
we're not.
We're warning you with what we see and giving you points of action to take.
Right.
So that you can hopefully make it out on the other side. Also, one more little disclaimer before we get to it. This is not about what political party you are affiliated with or not.
Not at all.
Don't go there, because this is a people problem.
It's not about a
R or a D.
Or even a medical preference.
L.
I'll just say that.
None of it. This is not about that. This video is about pretty much the coming economic collapse because of debt. Okay, so now, here's the scoop. I wrote down some statistics and I'm looking at my computer screen over here right now. So forgive me for looking away from the camera. Currently, the United States has $29,488,168, and then I can't go any faster because it's so fast it's spinning.
Yeah.
That's how much debt we have currently right now. And Mom figured out we gain about $1 million in debt every
40 seconds. That's why he can't read the whole number. It's insane.
29 trillion.
Yeah.
And we gain $1 million every 40 seconds.
It's almost $29.5 trillion.
Yeah. Yep. And so hear me out, because this is important. You need to hear that this stuff isn't just, oh my gosh, we're watching the news and now all of a sudden we believe that. No. This has been years of research. Okay. Here's another thing. How about this one? You're going to like this one. The income that the federal government takes in every year is only $3.46 trillion for all taxes. Okay. 29 trillion in debt. They only take in 3 trillion. Now, that's not what they spend. That's only what they take in. They always spend more than they take in. Okay, is your head exploding yet?
Yeah.
Okay, now.
If that was your house...
Oh, you'd be in jail.
You'd be dead.
You'd be jail.
You'd be gone. You wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have anything. You wouldn't have anything. You couldn't run your house that way. Okay,
here's another fun little fact. Currently, there is only about $1.2 trillion in physical currency in the world.
In the world or in the United States?
Of United States currency, period. 1.2 trillion, like if they said, give us all your money back, all of it.
I'm laughing, but this is not a funny thing.
This is a serious thing.
It is laughable, because who can run a country this way?
They kick the can down the road. It's not just an R problem. It's not just a D problem. It's not just an L problem. It's all of them.
Bad money managers. Bad.
It's also leadership who is so weak that they're only concerned about themselves, and they're not thinking long term. Well, and you know what? For the sake of this video, that's actually not the important part. That's not where we're going, because the problem is here. Griping about the problem is not going to fix the problem.
Let's find a solution then.
Right. And while we would love to be in a position of power to flick a switch and go,
no more debt.
It's not going to happen.
No.
So the real question is, we have to look ahead as human beings, you and me, and everybody who's waking up to the fact that that is not sustainable, and it's not sustainable much longer. And I mean much longer, like how can they kick the can down the road anymore? Because when the Fed loans money to our government, which that's how it works, they're making it up out of thin air. They sell bonds and stuff, but other countries aren't buying our bonds anymore. Yet they're still loaning money to the federal government that then floods it into the market. That's where it comes from. Google it. There's plenty of good videos.
Oh, yeah.
Plenty of good videos. Just, have a hammer ready at the ready and aspirin so that you can, take care of that.
Give yourself a headache.
That's my point.
Banging on.
That's exactly why I have the aspirin right there ready to go. So it's not going to last much longer, folks. Now, here's part 2 of the video. You can research the facts and nobody can argue the facts.
Right.
The debt is unsustainable and it's going to crash. It's just a matter of when.
Right.
So part 2 is, all right, let's try to take a look into the future if we can, based on what we know as facts and looking at history, okay? So what happens to countries that are in this situation that they've gotten themselves so far into debt that there's pretty much no way out? Historically, there's 2 things that get done. Default or war. And default, not good, because then that means all the other countries that are holding our loans to them, or actually investments to them, they're going to want that money back. What happens when all the dominoes start to fall? There's plenty of countries that have already asked for their gold, their physical gold, back from our federal keeping.
They didn't give it back.
In a lot of cases, they have not given it back.
Right.
There will come a time where there's going to be enough countries that say, no, now. So, default, not good. The whole economy would be in chaos.
Yeah.
And chaos, I mean chaos. Number 2 would be war. Now, war is a really great way, and I'm not endorsing war.
No.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
No.
I'm talking historically, and you look back and see what the world has done. Way back from Roman times up through World War II, Vietnam. War is a great way to generate a lot of income and get yourself out of debt and force other countries into submitting.
Yeah.
War is not a good option either, people. So, if this debt clock keeps going the way it is, and our government is they're on the verge of passing another $1 trillion stimulus, 1.5 trillion. That's money that's not actually accounted for in any of this. That's just extra. Let's lop it on the top. Let's just lop it on the top. Seriously.
I know. I know. I
And they
believe
sell
what
it?
you're saying. I'm laughing because it's absolutely ridiculous.
They sell it and they make it sound great. Who doesn't want better infrastructure?
Right.
I want better roads. You want better bridges? Of course we do. But they're just going, poof, I got a genie and here's some money. Go do it. Now let's not talk about where most of the money will go to all the handouts and the dirty dealings.
Oh, right. That money that comes in, it doesn't actually go to building those roads. It's
some of it does.
going
but
to
not-
line the pockets of the
the buddies who
and
got
the
them there.
buddies who got them
Got 'em
into
there.
office. That's exactly what that's
And
for.
that's not an
It is
R or a D
so
problem. It's a people problem.
dirty. It's disgusting.
That's not an R or a D problem. That's a people problem.
That is a people problem. Yeah. It's a greedy people problem.
And it's very rare, very rare. It's like if you see a triple rainbow, then that's about as rare as seeing an honest politician. It's true. They get there by a lot of shady means. And you know what? In a lot of cases, I even know some personally, and they start out great. They start out like great human beings who really want to try.
Yeah.
And then they just start being coerced into, I'll get your deal done if you get my deal done. And then starts from there. But anyway, let's talk about the real future, the future that we can control, because we can't control that. That's coming. The real question is, how are you going to insulate yourself so that you don't just go down the toilet, the financial toilet? Might end up homeless, depending on your situation. Might not have food, depending on your situation. I can tell you a little bit about what we've done. Actually, Mom, why don't you start to share, because we've been aware of this for a few years now.
Yeah, it's been a few years. We have tried our best to get our debts paid off, and to get ahead on mortgage payments and vehicle payments if we had them. But yeah, mortgage payments is the big one, because you don't really want to be without a place to live.
Yeah.
And, you know, to live in a home, it's hard to buy a home outright unless you are independently wealthy.
Or you've saved a long time.
Or you've saved a very long time. Not everybody can do that. And I know some of you out there were able to buy your property and your homestead debt-free. That's awesome.
Praise God.
Not everybody can do that. We could not do that. So we are paying ahead on our mortgage to get it, to get it paid off faster.
Yeah. Let's say that we get a few extra bucks here, a few extra bucks there. We'll pay another month. And once we get to probably 6 or 8 months ahead, then we're going to start hammering on the principal. But for us, if all of a sudden the economy tanked and we're not making money with the businesses and the editing that I do for videos to make money for the family, then people aren't going to be hiring me.
Right.
And there won't be ad revenue from anything.
Nope.
So we need to be ahead to buy us time.
To buy us time so we can find a job to be able to pay for our home.
And jobs will be hard to find. So that brings us to part 2, food.
Yep. Grow as much as you can.
Don't be dependent on the system.
Don't be dependent on the grocery stores or handouts or anything like that. Grow as much as you can. If you live in suburbs, yeah, you can't have goats and cows and pigs and stuff like that. But you can have rabbits. And rabbits are a great source of protein.
And nobody needs to know if you got them in your garage.
And they are not considered an agricultural animal according to the USDA. So you can have rabbits in a residential,
HOA.
Even in an HOA. We did, and it was not an issue.
Yep.
Because they're not an agricultural animal. They're a pet. So yeah, you can raise pets and eat them. Rabbits are a great source of protein.
Yeah, you actually have to add in fat because they're so lean.
Right. You have to add in fat, but they also grow and multiply.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Return
One
on
female rabbit can produce how many
It's a lot.
kits in a year? Oh, shoot. I knew all the stats years ago when we did raise rabbits, but we raise beef and pork on a larger scale now. So rabbits are not necessary.
Your return on investment is very high.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Very high.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I want to say for protein, it's the best you can do.
Right, but you have to have other things in it. You can't just eat rabbit. You have to add fat to it, like Brad said, because it is so lean. But rabbit is an amazing thing. Some cities and some suburbs and HOAs, they'll let you have chickens.
We did in a very, very expensive neighborhood in Cincinnati.
They allowed you to have 6 chickens.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. I mean, we could never afford to live there. It was part of the deal. I worked at this church, and part of the deal was we got to live in the parsonage.
Right.
But another thing that you should really start considering is bartering. Learn how to barter. Find people in your area that are willing to do that. Say, guy over here does potatoes. Well, you might want to trade potatoes for your eggs, for your chickens.
Right.
Start making those relationships yesterday, because yesterday is the best day to do it. Today is the second best day.
Something that was just ringing in my head. Learn how to bake. Learn how to cook things without
from scratch
a box.
Yes, way to go,
Learn
Mom.
how to. We have tons of videos on us showing you how to make bread. It is super, super simple. Please, if you've tried it before and it's failed, trust me.
Try again.
I know. Try again. Please keep trying. Because
it costs pennies.
It's 30 to 50 cents a loaf. Try
but that's a pound.
Yeah, it's a pound of food. Please try again.
Yeah.
Please try again.
Another thing that you should really consider is physical gold and silver for actual money. There's a big difference between what is called currency and what's called money, guys. And I'm not going to go into all that right now because that's a whole nother video in itself. But here's the deal. Throughout all of history, gold has never been zero. Gold has always been a traded, highly valuable commodity. Silver has also been the same. Look into those items that people will need if all of a sudden you can't, there's no way to get, I need that, but he doesn't want my potatoes. So I can't barter with him because he doesn't want my chicken's eggs or he doesn't want this. Well, they'll want silver and they'll want gold. Why? Because it's going to be universally fungible and tradable. People will want it. They're always going to want it. And I would just suggest, I mean, the debt clock.
I've been paying attention to it. When we started this video, it was at 57 million, not 57, 29 trillion, 488 billion, 157 billion.
Now it's 189
now it's
billion.
189 billion. It's gone up
30 billion.
35,
30.
Almost 35 billion.
Good Lord.
No, 35 million. Sorry,
35
not
million.
billion.
But still, it's only a matter of time, kids.
Yeah.
So, by the way, go ahead.
Get your house in order.
Yeah.
Learn how to do some stuff.
If you can find a piece of property nearby you that you could just buy outright, at least then you will own something.
Right. Yes, you'll still have to pay property taxes on it, but you will own it outright and no one can take it from you unless you don't pay your property taxes. But
think like that.
Right. Put a small cabin on it, and if
you got to get out of Dodge, there's a place to go.
Yep. Yeah.
Another thing, this is last thing, completely separate. So honestly, this is not about fear. This is about reading the signs and going, okay, well,
don't
what
put your head in the
happened?
sand. Pay attention to what's going on and get your house in order.
That's right. And Chris and I have been talking briefly about a get-together, a meetup. And I think we should do it. I think we should do it in the spring.
That's fine. We can do that in the spring.
Because
it's too cold here right now.
Yeah, it's -5 outside right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys come on in.
Sure. Come on over. No.
What that will look like, we've done them in the past. And what it is we usually we'll find a national park or something. And we will invite anybody who wants to come. And as long as you're coming in peace. Because there are some of you guys know. But then we all bring food like a potluck. We share. There's usually a campfire. People that want to camp can camp. And then we'll usually share, hey, I make this, I do this. And
it's a good time to get to know your neighbors.
Other like-minded people.
Other like-minded people who live in this general area. And, you know, there have been many families that have become very close friends due to getting together at some of our gatherings.
Same thing, I mean, with us.
Yeah, with us too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've met far more awesome people than loons.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while you'll get a loon, but they usually just kind of, they say what they want to say and then they leave. And that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
We got thick skin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then we always carry. There's that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, anyway, be looking for that if you're interested in, the last time we did it in Ohio, there was easily 150 people there.
Easy. Oh, yeah.
And that was, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
So I'd imagine there'll be more.
Yeah, we didn't have very many subs then. Not 6 years ago.
5?
Probably 5 years ago because it was shortly before we moved.
It was at that cool park. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it, guys.
Yep.
Get ready. It's coming.
Buckle up, Sally.
Bye. I'm Brad.
I'm Krista.
You guys have a blessed and amazing day.